This is my level 93 Lightning Tendrils Juggernaut, chasing immortality and trying to become absolutely unkillable. I'm going to go over my stats, and I'm going to go over a few pretty extreme edge case maps, because while mapping I realized I have to pretty actively try to get myself killed in order to actually die on this character, and I did just that. I did some very extreme maps as far as like triple added LE damage with minus 13 max resist, that kind of thing. I just want to go over some of the extreme edge cases in which this character can die, but first I kind of want to go over the stats. DPS, not really important for this video. I'm working on the DPS, but 5.5 million is more than enough to deal with like T16 maps and to do regular pinnacle bosses. Once you get up to pinnacles, it goes down to 4.5 million, and Uber's 1.3 million, so it's not super great yet. And then EHP, this is 182,000, doesn't actually matter, and that's with Molten Shell. It goes down to 64,000 without Molten Shell, but once again, doesn't matter. The only thing that matters are these max hits that I can take, because the only thing that can kill me is one-shots. I can't die to non-one-shots. It just doesn't happen outside of damage over time, which I'll get to, but I am getting a lot better against that as well. But the stats you need to know is I have 1,623 unreserved life. I do have energy shield, but it doesn't matter at all, because all of my energy shield is completely negated by divine flesh and also my body armor, the fourth vow. So energy shield is irrelevant. It's just sitting there lowering my stun threshold so that I can actually get life back from my blood notch. So that is the only purpose of energy shield. It doesn't accomplish anything for me in this build. I'm also spending 317 of that life per second. I actually regenerate pretty much my entire health pool all the time. That is a moot point. The other things to note is I currently have 82 max fire res, 80 cold and lightning, and 81 chaos. So those are the stats, and then also armor, just short of 51,000. That is all the important stuff. I'll have a POB for the tree below, and I'm just going to start pulling up some footage and going over some maps. Alright, so I'll be skipping around a little bit here, but this is the first map. Things to note are that it is 100 fizzes extra fire, 101 fizzes extra cold, 112 fizzes extra lightning, and minus 13 max res. I wanted to kind of see what situations could kill me, and I'm going to jump around a little bit in the video to find my deaths, because I don't want to, sit through the entire thing. Alright, so coming up here, we have a nice little example. I'll just play it. But here we have a bunch of exploding minions. As you can see, I can sit on top of those and it barely moves. What does move my health bar is those damage over time cold balls. In fact, outside of some of the cases I get into later, that's one of the only things that can actually hurt me during this map. So I did want to point that out. But things that this build can generally tank are going to be pretty much any of the actual arch nemesis, the little lightning towers that follow you around, I forget what they're called, but the arch nemesis ones, the exploding magma spheres, anything like that. I can tank meteors from altars as well, from the eldritch altars, no problem whatsoever. Does almost nothing at all to me. So all that stuff is very tankable. Alright, so coming up here, we're at the boss. So I'll just show the boss, and we also, I didn't notice when I looked at it, we have an essence mob. And this is where we kind of start getting pushed a little bit. So, as you can see, you may have noticed that essence mob is God touched. It's Aberrath touched. Also gains random charges and Trail of Fire. So a bunch of kind of tough things for me. I don't remember if I actually had immunity to burning ground at that point, but yeah, I was instantly one-shot by that. So there are definitely cases, extreme fringe cases, but cases nonetheless, where I can get one shot, and one shots are the few things that can kill me. I actually run into a couple of more things on this map, so I'll skip to those. Alright, So here we have an abyss. This situation actually gets a little messy, but it's not too bad. Generally speaking, once again, lightning storm is kind of largely irrelevant, but once we get to the later holes here, we're going to run into just hordes and hordes and hordes of mobs, all of which I think there's like a ton of rares that come out of the last one, and you'll get to see some interesting kind of overlapping effects that can make things a little dicey. But yeah, once again, just the extreme nature of this map. So by the time we get to the third hole, this one's, this is mostly nothing for the most part, largely irrelevant. But it's this last hole where you see all of these. First of all, that ring, the mana siphoning ring, that is one of the scariest things for this build. But yeah, you can see there are just a ton of rares. I believe it's hard to tell what's out here, just because of the raw amount of rares that are coming out. But as you can see, we're tanking it pretty nicely until we don't. It eventually does get to the point where I just can't tank it any longer. I don't know if I accidentally hit the ring of that mana siphoner or if something else. I do try to kind of figure out what's doing stuff. There is a lightning damage, lightning exposure, and a haste aura in there as well. So it's possible with the minus max resist and then the lightning exposure, that was just enough to get me. But I do go back and I am able to finish these mobs off. So I'll just show that. If you kind of handle them, and you can see I almost died to the mana siphon right there. Once I get more regen, that shouldn't be an issue. And if I didn't have my Righteous Fire on, it wouldn't be an issue. I would be able to out regen it, I believe. I think I lose like 600 regen basically by by having Righteous Fire on. Yeah, since we're already coming up to it, I'll just kind of keep rolling here. Going to do a 100% channeled Crucible here. I was just taking a look at the tree. I don't know. I'm not going to bother chancing this. I saw the 20 ES and not the 40 ES like I was looking for in order to try to make a really nice Emperor's Vigilance, but I don't think I'm going to be chance orbing those anyway. So yeah, I do a 100 channel, and for the most part, it isn't too bad, but as you can see, the spider boss spawns. And the spider boss with 320 or so physical as an extra element, along with the minus max res, does kill me. And I think that's pretty much all I have for this video, so I'm going to move on to the next one. We're doing a minus armor, which is kind of not too bad. Like, it's not really an issue mostly, but the main reason I'm doing this as a Vaal Temple and using this as a demo is because Vaal Temples have a lot of the strong boxes, and specifically the 52% more monster life. I know I can take a Detonate Dead from a box in a normal T16 map under normal circumstances, but I did want to test to see if I could take Detonate Dead from an actual 52% more monster life setup. And I do a couple of different demonstrations. I think there are 3 total Detonate Dead boxes that I run into, so we'll get to see that. All right, actually I don't need to skip to it. The first one's here. Now, it was only 2 corpses, so it didn't even really move my health bar. You saw maybe the tiniest little deviation in my health bar there. All right, so here we have another Detonates Nearby Corpses. I also decided that the map was a little too easy, so I added nearby enemies do 100% physical as extra cold. And this time I died. A lot more corpses didn't explode from being frozen. And yeah, I just wanted to point out. So the whole point of this experiment, but yeah, a lot more corpses went off. There was additional monster life, and that was enough to kill me. So here we have another Crucible. I think I charged this up to 100%. I'm pretty sure I do, since I was doing it for testing. Now, outside of the armor, I'm not really missing much in terms of stuff. You can see there's a Solaris Touched snake here. The Solaris Touched is actually scary because one of the, I think, 3 attacks Solaris Touched used is a damage over time. It's a burning ground effect. but it doesn't seem to be affected by immunity to burning ground. So you can see this also has extra crits. So you could see I actually did get chunked for about 2/3 of my life with an extra crit basically from one of these vipers with all of the extra stuff, and that's with 100% physical is extra cold for nearby enemies. So under normal circumstances, without alters or anything, one of these at 100% would be no problem. Right there, I got hit for about 2/3 again, and yeah, I'm just basically moving around to avoid getting hit. So that's pretty much it. Coming up here, we have another couple of essence mobs. This one has siphon mana again, which is really annoying. And what's worse is it's duplicated, so I have to kind of make sure that I'm not on the edge of one or the other by either A. Luckily, they run away, so I'm able to split one up, and it looks like I'm maybe freezing the other one. Maybe not, because I only have an 11% chill, so I'm probably not actually freezing it. But it does stay still. I split these up. 5 essences, 2 of which are shrieking, 3 of which are wailing. So it's not a huge essence or anything. But there's another essence up here as well, and this one is nothing to write home about at all. It's just a little tanky. It's got extra projectiles, lightning and shock resistant, which is a little annoying to me. But this one's mostly a long one, so I'll just skip it for the extra. This one doesn't actually pose any kind of threat. So coming up on another detonates nearby corpses. That one, once again, only exploded, I think, about 3 corpses. So yeah, it was... apparently 2 or 3 corpses is fine at this amount of life, but like 10 at a time, maybe. I don't know if that can crit or what, but and lastly, I'm just gonna do the boss. So we're coming up to the boss room here, and these bosses are notoriously pretty tough. You have the rain of spikes. I just kind of sit there and take things. It's not really too much of an issue. I just stand on the degen ground when it comes up to, because the type of degen isn't one that really affects me, and easy peasy. So nice little boss. That's everything I wanted to show you for the maps. Now I'll go over the character. So here is my character proper. As far as the skill tree goes, I did make some changes to it. You kind of saw it in the POB, but I changed my pathing to go down here. This saves me a lot of points, gives me the option, if I want to, prioritize this to get a second cluster jewel setup, and gives me another 2 socket jewel slot, and gives me infused flesh rather than vampirism, which is a greater amount of recoup for the same amount of points. So overall, just very efficient to go this way. So that is what I'm currently doing. I now have all of the plus res, so prismatic skin, armor mastery, soul of steel, and reservation mastery, along with barbarism. So I get a little extra in fire. I could put the travel point here in any number of these, and I could swap that over as needed if I need to have a little bit more durability against a different kind. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I have the more spell damage if you've been stunned while casting. I do not have the second spell mastery, and then I have this throat seeker. It's just really efficient, and then I need the extra non-damaging ailment effect. So I currently only have 70, which isn't great, but I do have 40 on my weapon as well. So I have 110% effectiveness with my lightning. And I could get more here, but a decent amount more, in fact. 50% more, but I don't think it's worth the points necessarily. And I could get like max shock effect, which could give me damage. That might be like a last thing to consider, but I still have a lot of stuff I want to fit in. Overall, yeah, it's a pretty spread thin setup. One thing you might notice is that I'm now running Forbidden Right. It's just unlinked. Nice thing about Forbidden Right, it allows me to generate endurance charges. It says I take 1,453, but 81% of that is mitigated, and then the rest is mitigated by armor, so I might as well be taking 10 chaos damage. It's literally nothing. Like, you can see, I think I'm actually taking 5 chaos damage. It's hard to see, maybe if you slowed it down or something, but yeah. So out of that 1,453, I'm like literally taking 5 damage. It's nothing. But it gives me endurance charge generation. I can do this when there's no enemy to hit to make sure that I keep them up. When I'm in like a physical degen or something, like I'm taking a bleed and nothing's hitting me and there's nothing to hit, I do this. That'll give me some extra stuff. I do plan on getting my 6th endurance charge at level 95. That's my next priority. That'll give me big physical damage mitigation, and I'll get some regen from traveling there as well. 1.2% regen, which will be nice. Equipment. I recrafted the Void Scepter. It's still got the spell damage, crit multi, which is best in slot, shock effect, and I now have the explicit caster damage modifier magnitudes on here. The most important things are going to be cast speed and crit multi. I would have liked to have flat lightning damage instead of flat cold damage, and I'll be recrafting this again, but this was good enough for now. The only reason I kept it is because it had tier 1 crit multi, and because I was running myself out of essences. And because I also got spell damage, which is a bonus. So my ideal scepter would look like T1 cast speed, T1 crit multi, T1 spell damage, and T1 flat lightning damage to spells. That would be my ideal Void Scepter. And then anything else on top of that would be like a bonus as far as like, you know, lightning damage or anything like that. Would be nice. So that's kind of it. I am no longer running Trinity. I'm currently at it running Awakened Added Lightning Penetration. So I was able to swap out my ring. The reason for this is because I am now, rather than doing a curse setup, I'm doing an Elemental Mastery Penetration setup. This is more consistent against things with a ton of resistance, which is the hardest things to run up against. So if you're running like a plus resistance map, they sometimes can get like plus 50 elemental resistance, or if you run into a lightning resistance rare, they have like 80 resistance. So being able to reverse this and then have penetration just makes it a lot smoother and more consistent. Technically, the Trinity Curse version can get up to a higher damage amount, like 7-8 million. But this setup is much more consistent against things with high resistance. So currently Phantasmal Lightning Tendrils. I do need to get a level 21 at some point. Awakened Lightning Penetration, Infused Channeling, Awakened Added Lightning Damage Support. I did end up going Life Tap. The main reason being is it's just such a hassle to try to fix my mana. I was spending too many points doing it. This is an easy way to fix this. I have so much regen. 1,500 regen, and then with the sulfur flask almost 2,000, and I'm going to be getting a lot more regen soon enough too. So pretty much all of my last points are going to give me like, regen. Like I'm getting regen on these small clusters, I'm getting regen on the life regen per endurance charge. So yeah, it's just a lot more efficient to use Life Tap. I'm also using Life Tap on my Lightning Warp setup. I should swap out Swift Affliction for lower duration. It's a lot slower than it used to be, especially considering I only have 25% move speed boots, which does affect the speed of Lightning Warp. So, but you can see I warp faster when I have Onslaught up, for instance, because that gives me 20% movement speed. So, very nice thing to note there. Purity of Elements, Righteous Fire, Frostblink, Determination. Righteous Fire is no problem to sustain. I think I had like a positive regen of like 800 still, or 900 maybe. I need a level 21 Determination. I'm going to buy that really soon here. Frostblink, I don't really need to do anything. I guess I could try to 21 it. I always try to 21 something in one of my videos. Nope. Because that would have just given me bigger travel distance and better cooldown recovery rate, but not a huge deal. Still level 10 Molten Shell with increased duration, 20. Okay, Let's see. Oh, down to 19. Downgraded that one. And then just a level 1 cast when damage taken. So this is level 36, level 38. So these are just fine. I still get a max shield from Molten Shell. If I take out the thing, you can see my armor is currently high enough where... Oh, I don't quite get... Oh, I didn't have my Basalt and Granite up. But yeah, with my Basalt and Granite up, I'll just let that regen here or come back. I do get a 5,000 shield. So, and they're pretty much always up because they both have gain 3 charges when you're hit by an enemy. And we only have 368 evasion, so everything's pretty much hitting. Then Forbidden Right to get endurance charges, Petrified Blood on Arrogance currently, which means because I'm below 50% anyway, I got rid of the you count as low life when you're at 55% or lower, and just added the 50 life one. 50 life might actually be worse than even just like these small life and armor nodes. I'll have to do the calculations, but I think at this stage that might be the case. Yeah, that's my gem setup, gear setup. I showed the Void Staff already. Helmet's really good. I think I had this last time too, but 16% Fizz is Chaos, and cast speed, high life, high regen. Really nice helmet. I should probably try to get a lab enchant or something on it. I do have quality on my Marlene's Fallacy, currently anointing Brink of Death, so I have 278 crit multi from this. Total crit multi at the moment is 605. I'd like to get it up to like 700. I do have crit multi on this jewel. This is a double cast speed, double crit multi jewel. I'd like to get another like this for this slot maybe. But yeah, this is giving me 7 cast speed and 26 crit multi, and probably should be divined because the rolls are quite bad. Minimum cast speed with the shield, kind of low for both of the crit multis as well. The only one that I have max for is the lowest cast speed roll out of those. So yeah, that's set up. Same Dawnbreaker. I have been looking at corrupted Dawnbreakers with the physical taken, or yeah, physical taken as elemental. One of these would be almost enough to get me to Shaper Slam survivability. So just a Dawnbreaker with one. I need to get to 30% and maybe try to double corrupt this one, and if that fails, I'll just buy another Dawnbreaker, I guess, that already has Fizz taken as extra, and then I will probably run one of these, which allows you to put a it allows you to actually add Crucible Trees to corrupted items, so I'll probably do that. This one I can probably just run as is, it looks like. Yeah, this one isn't that bad. And it also has my tiers can't be downgraded when I set them up. So yeah, I'll be running one of those and getting, if I failed to double corrupt this. So I think that's my next priority, is double corrupt my Dawnbreaker. Hope for double physical taken as extra. That would basically set me to like max hit of 27,000 or so, which is really close to the max hit that Shaper Slam hits without a crit. So, fourth vow is still the same. This ring's still the same. I need to put quality on it for resistances. Haven't done so yet. New ring, I just crafted this. It's pretty nice because it's an opal ring. It's got high armor. I crafted it with an armor essence, so it's got almost a max armor roll on it. It's also got good regen, 51 regen, which is tier 1, kind of a low roll. It's got tier 2 all res, and it's got mana, which isn't super helpful. And lastly, I just crafted life. I should probably recraft for max, but that's fine for now. I should probably recraft all of my gear for max, honestly, anything that isn't maxed out. But gloves are the same ones I have been using with some leech and unnerve. Belt is the same, but I did put the fertile catalysts on it, so it now has almost 160 life on it, and boots are the same. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. I just wanted to go over the survivability and how this character is going. Hope you enjoyed. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I'll see you next time. Bye.